Hello, my love. I am on time. Instagram didn't make it, so it's just me and you, and I guess YouTube and Facebook, which is okay. I'm here for it. I have my drink, I have my books, I have my notes, I have you, and I'm just happy that you're here, and I'm happy that I'm here. And if you're here, and you can hear me or you can't hear me or you have questions, just put it in the chat and we'll figure it out. I'm still new to this, but at the same time, I'm becoming kind of true to this, so I'm okay with it. All right, so here we are. It is Saturday. It is 9 p.m. It is about an hour past my bedtime, but I've been doing this as a way to get it out there. I've got the kiddos in life, and I have to do things when I can get them done. Okay? So I'm here at 9 p.m. This is the live recording of the soul frequency forecast. This is the live recording of the soul frequency forecast, and it's going to be available for replay on YouTube. So if you're watching this on Facebook or you're watching this on YouTube, this will be available on YouTube for the replay. If you join me and you have a question, you can typically ask me a question about anything. As we go along, you may find more reasons to ask a question. If you are new to this, I am Dr. Asia Taylor, the Soulful Creatrix. I create things and I love it. Okay. I have been doing this brand of work here, sound and energy healing, spiritual guidance, working with metaphysical tools for about 3 years going now. Okay. I do this for a living. This is how I make my money. Let's disconnect that. All right. This is how I make my money. And I basically work with clients who are going through or have gone through some type of chaos or loss or grief, some type of tumultuous event in their life. Typically, I'm that tower event type of person, okay? I've been through enough shit in my life to be able now to help others. So with that being said, I put together each week a soul frequency forecast. Now, the soul frequency forecast is combining human design, astrology, I throw in some tarot, and I throw in frequency work because I work with frequency. I work with frequency so much, I wrote a book about it, okay? So there is that. Let me go ahead and close this. Y'all need to see that over there. I work with frequency so much, I wrote a book about it, okay? Frequency of the Divine, written by a Black woman from the perspective of a Black woman working in sound and energy healing, is available on Amazon and on my website at www.soundhealer.life. Okay. I also combine some intuitive energy work into the forecast. Okay. So sometimes it may feel a little like, where does she get that information from? I just felt it. That was it. I felt it. Okay. And true to anything metaphysically, we're all just making this shit up, okay? Where we're doing what feels right, okay? And that is how everybody works our spiritual path. That's what we're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be living your spiritual, being through your human body, feeling into it and tuning into it. And not letting the others with all of their crazy, garbages come through and interrupt your learning experience, okay? So, yeah, I put together the soul frequency forecast on a weekly basis. And so far, it's been working as I have wanted it. It is a Saturday night, like tonight. I come through and I share what it looks like for next week, day by day. Okay. And then Sunday, for those who are subscribers either to the Creatrix Academy or simply the Creatrix Chronicles, you get, oh, this is going to do that all night tonight. Then you get a digital version of the notes written out in detail and everything that we discussed on Sunday. Okay, the forecast goes from Monday through Sunday, so you'll be prepared, you'll be ready, you can start off your week, bam bang boom. Monday you have your information, you're ready to go. Okay, and as I've been saying, this is not prophecy. I don't prophesy. I'm not a prophet. I'm not a prophet, guys. I'm not a prophet. If I were a prophet, I have $1 million right now, and a lot of this mess would have been cleaned up. Okay, but I am not. I am not a prophet. Um, I am basically just an energy person. I feel into things. I would consider myself an empath or a diviner, a creative, and so my frequency forecasts are designed with that in mind, with creatives, empaths, and spiritual souls, seekers in mind. So I don't go over every astrological, every um, transit in human design. I don't do that. I do the ones that are going to be most pertinent to us as we are going along this creative, empathic, soul seeking journey. Okay, that's also very important. Okay, so let me see while I am doing that. We're going to enter this in the chat. Okay, and I'm going to bring up, not that way, we don't like that way. I don't know why we do it that way. All right, we're going to bring up the notes for today. Okay, so yeah, you can see how bright my face just got there. That's kind of crazy. All right, so this is basically just the written version of the notes. Okay, I do this every week. You get one of these in detail whenever you are I'm not on Instagram. Yeah, no, I am not on Instagram. For whatever reason, Instagram didn't work today. So, and I don't know why. It was sad, but I couldn't get it to work. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted there. Okay. Yeah, so you get one of these every week, okay, with all of my notes, and the things that we are going to talk about. Oh, thank you very much. Glad to know their sound. Okay. Okay. So we're starting this week is basically wrapping up. This week is wrapping up the dynamo power that we had last week. Okay, thank you. It's wrapping up that dynamo power that we had, going from last week into going at the end of last week. So if you've been following along and and you're at home playing along at home, last week we ended the week with this 3420 channel, the channel of charisma, this dynamo superpower house get shit done channel, that only the lucky ones, the manifesting generators, seem to have. And that's in human design. And so we're ending that energy for the beginning of this week. And okay. So we're starting the week still in gate 34, in Sun, and Earth in gate 20. Okay. And so we're basically going to we're starting off strong with the energy. We're working through having abundance and being exactly who we are supposed to be. If you remember, I mentioned that last week. I'm not going to go too deep into 3420 this week. You can go back and look. I've even posted, I think, some stuff on Instagram and I believe on Facebook about 3420, the Dynamo Powerhouse super channel that it is. Okay, so you can go back and look at that, but that's the energy that we're working with at the beginning of this week. While also the moon, let me make sure, yes, the moon is moving through from one side. I don't want to get it wrong. I definitely don't want to get the moons wrong. I got the moons wrong last week, guys, for one of them, and I felt really bad about that, okay? But at the same time, you didn't notice. So I think I'm okay. So the moon this week rolls from Capricorn into Aries, okay? So we start off the week in this really grounded, stable and secure type of moon energy intuitively. And then we end the week in Aries, okay, which means we have to pass through Aquarius and Pisces this week, which makes this week a very thoughtful, very dreamy, very idealized week. And then we roll into some fire. Okay, we get, we end off the week in some fire energy, intuitively, working through action again and getting things, going again. Okay. In human design, we start off with the 3420 channel, and then at the end of the week, the sun moves into gate 9, and then the earth moves into gate 16. Okay. And so I will go over that for the end of the week. All right. So the theme for this week is from embodied power to devoted focus. Okay. I am just the messenger, and I'm going to say that all week. I am just the messenger, guys. Okay. Don't be upset with me. I am just the messenger. We go through these channels, we go through these signs, we go through this energy cyclically, okay? It happens on a regular basis, all right? These are just things that happen, all right? There's nothing spectacularly awesome about them. There's nothing that, it's no... They happen on a cyclical basis, on a circular basis, okay? And when it comes to that, we go through these energies, especially on the wheel of human design, we go through them once a year. It's kind of like a way to clean out every single part. Astrologically, we go through all of the signs every cycle. The moon goes through all of the signs every moon cycle, okay? The moon spends some days in a sign, in each sign. Basically, the moon spends, a couple of days in each sign. Like, this happens, all right? And sometimes it lines up to where the moon's sign that it's moving in coincides with the human design gates that we're getting now. And so we end up in a state of focus. Okay. That may have all been for me because focus is not my forte. All right. And I know that. I'm okay with that now. It just is. All right. But this week, we're about focus, okay? That's what's happening the end of the week. So we're embodying our power this week, like we've been doing at the end of last week, moving it through, because now we have that Capricorn grounded energy that we've been, working with, right? And then we take that and we move it into some Aquarian like thought type of embodied power, okay? And then everything shifts, okay? And we go from embodied dynamo power into a focused, diligent, repetitive, do it until it works type of energy for the end of the week. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have questions, put them in the chat. And I'm going to say right now that if you have your human design chart, now's a good time to go find it. Okay? And if you have your birth chart, now is a good time to bring it out. Okay? Because we're working with these energies. These are just the energies of the day, and we're going to work with them. And they're going to work better based off of you knowing your specific personal energy and your specific personal transits. Okay? So take what I say, do with it what you wish. Okay? But make it yours. Okay, so if you don't like any of the rituals, yeah, make them yours. Do what you want to do with them, okay? This is your journey. And your journey, literally, I can't do anything about or for or take anything from. Really, I'm just here maybe to give you permission as a projector and say, hey, align with what works for you and use what works for you to do what works for you. Okay. That being said, we will start off with Monday. Let's see. I'm going to get to Monday. You know what? No. You know what? Yeah. I'm going to go with it. We're going to go with Monday. I'm going to get us to Monday. All right. So, Monday. Where are we at? Why? I don't know why it wants me to go that way, but we're going to go this way. All right. So, Monday, the theme is grounded power. Now, I said this, okay? The moon is in Capricorn. We've got that power dynamo 3420 energy working, okay? And, you know, as long as you are staying present and being who you are authentically, that dynamo power works well. And then coupled with Capricorn's ability to be grounded and rooted, it also works very well, okay? Capricorn's very structured and very grounded or rooted. We're going with it. Okay, so the theme is structure and embodied power. And the ritual for Monday, I have sound bath with drumming or tuning forks on the root chakra frequencies. So I mentioned before that gate 3420 can kind of have you going off into like a tailspin if you are not working through that gate 20 energy of being authentically you and grounded in you. Okay. It can have you doing all kinds of things. You know, you start having ideas and thinking, and then you're like, hey, I can do this and I can do that. So we want to keep some grounded root energy to balance us out or to keep us mindful. So that's why the drumming or the root chakra work, either using a C note or the 256, is going to be very helpful on Monday if you're working with sound in your ritual. Okay, so the prompts for Monday, and I tried to give 2 prompts this week. You'll see I tried to go in 2 directions with the prompts this week. I'm always, working on something there, okay? So the prompts for this week, where does my power feel most stable when I slow down? Because we're trying to slow down so that we can find that power and embody it and use it, okay? And then, how can I anchor my empathic sensitivity so it becomes a source of strength rather than overwhelm? And I hope you're catching it, but this week we are going to work with the empathic ability, the empathic creativity, the empathic skill, the empathic intuition this week, okay? So for my empaths out there, I got you. Okay, so that's the prompts for Monday. Okay, and the mantra, my power is grounded, my presence is steady, and my creativity flows with ease. Okay, Tuesday. Tuesday. So Tuesday, the sun in gate 34, earth in gate 20, that stays, but we move into Aquarius moon energy, okay? That is that visionary, um, out there, what is the best and what is the farthest we can reach thinking wise, what thoughts can we have that are so far out there? I don't even think that they're human type Aquarius intuition. Okay, we're gonna bring that intuition and use that energy to work for us on Tuesday. Okay, also community and working in what's good for the community. Okay, Aquarius is very good on the big, what's going to work for like humankind, or what's not working for humankind. Okay, Aquarius is big on that energy. So the theme for Tuesday is innovation and authentic presence, right? The ritual, I put down some group meditation. I'm considering something. However, on Tuesday, I am supposed to be at a community dinner. And, when I think about it, it works, right? Community dinner. So I'm here for it, okay? Breath work, a journaling circle, doing something with your community, doing something that as a group, okay? Try it. I'm going to dinner, okay? Um, do something that invites synchronicity, even, like a mirror exercise with your group, or with a person. And then also some third eye chakra activation. So third eye, that's the A note if you're doing harmonic, or like singing bowls. If you're using solfeggio, that would be that 852 music typically. The third eye activation type music is also, it's just really good. But activating that third eye type of energy for innovation, for, forward thinking, it's going to be great on Tuesday. I say go for it. So your prompt for Tuesday is, how can my authentic presence inspire collective change? If that ain't about the most Aquarius question I have not ever heard in my life. How can my authentic presence inspire collective change? For my Aquarian friends, this one was for you, okay? And how can my empathic gifts help me connect and collect with collective visions without losing my sovereignty? And babies, that is most important. I'm telling you, like in this time right now where people are getting knocked down for their inauthenticity, having personal sovereignty. And we talked about this 2 weeks ago, and we were building on that personal sovereignty, that ability of saying, this is who I am, this is what I believe, this is where I'm going, okay? Having that personal sovereignty is so important right now as we're watching the inauthentic and the blindfolds come off and the veils come down, okay? Things are shifting in that direction. Knowing who you are and keeping to who you are and being true to yourself is going to be most important. Trust me on that one. Okay, so your mantra for Tuesday: I trust my body's timing and let my truth inspire new possibilities. All right. Now, truth be told, the moon stays in Aquarius Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay. So we start in Aquarius Tuesday. And so basically for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have this Aquarius moon energy. So our intuition is basically in that collective, in that innovative thinking, in that forward, thinking, out the box thinking, intuitively, tapping in to, maybe different versions of what we use intuitively that we don't normally use even, okay? So that's going to be the same for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all right? But on Wednesday, we have Venus trining Jupiter and Saturn, which is a beautiful feeling energy. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Like everything that I saw and that I read about Venus and trining Jupiter and Saturn, it felt good creatively. All right. So this is a good time for creativity to flourish. There's some balance between joy and responsibility because Saturn, like I mentioned before, is very much like a type of lessons, responsibility. We have provisos and quid pro quos. Okay, that's Saturn, right? But it's balanced, with the joy and the goodness of Jupiter, which you know is there. Okay, so the theme for Wednesday is harmonious expansion, grounded joy, like I've mentioned. Okay, so for our rituals, work on a gratitude altar. Do you have one? Things that you're grateful for, maybe some pictures of your family or your dogs or your pets or your job if you like it, things that you're happy about, things that, because what you're focusing on, that's the stuff that's going to grow, that's the stuff that's going to expand. That's how Jupiter works, right? Remember, mentioned that before. Just go back. Okay, I'm just going to keep saying I've mentioned this stuff before because we're working through the same energies. Okay, but Jupiter is very much an expansion. Okay, so whatever you're focusing on, that's what's expanding. Okay, and that's why a gratitude altar with love, abundance, your commitment, things that you want to work with, is going to be so awesome for you. Chanting or vocal toning or crystal bowls tuned with heart frequencies. That's the F note. So if you're vocal toning, um, you would want to do it to like heart frequency. And that's the F note. The 396 hertz if you're working with music, or if you have some solfeggio forks or a solfeggio bowl, the 396 hertz is also good there. The prompt for Wednesday is, how can I balance expansion with responsibility in my creative and spiritual journey? Okay, it's important that we balance expansion with responsibility. Okay, there's no flying out. It's when people talk about spiritual bypassing, right? It's this idea that I'm not going to see it, so it does not exist, and my life is going to just be awesome. And even when my life is shit, it's great. Okay, we're not spiritual bypassing here. All right, with expansion, and I mean with great power comes great responsibility, but that balance is always there. Okay, the duality is always there. All right, and so keeping in mind the responsibility that happens as we expand, it's pivotal to your growth journey. Okay, second one, how do my empathic connections flourish when I align joy with commitment? And I really want you to think about this one, okay? Because it's not all bad. It's not all I have to stay in my house, or I can't be around people, or I don't like how people feel right now. You know what I mean? It's not all of that, all right? You can have joy along with this ability to be able to flourish empathically, right? Um, as you know, you can have both. It is a yes and type of a situation, okay? We can have both, and yes, and I can have joy and I can have commitments, okay? Sometimes the commitments don't bring me joy, but joy is something that we look at like through our eyes. Like joy is something that we see, okay? Joy is definitely in the eye of the beholder, okay? Let's see. Check the chat. Make sure I'm not missing. I did get the hello. Hello. I did get the hello. But I'm seeing, okay. Hello, hello, hello. Is it me you're looking for? I don't want to get copywritten. Okay. So the mantra for Wednesday: love expands my creativity, discipline grounds my vision, joy fuels my heart. I like that one. You know, I don't know. I think I'm doing good this. Look, I think I'm doing good this week. All right. Thursday, Turkey Day. Okay. I talked in the sound bath this morning about this Sagittarius energy, and how Thanksgiving is like the ultimate version of Sagittarius energy, right? We're all sitting at a table wondering, what truths are going to be revealed this year, as drunk uncle is sitting there just talking his way through, and or are we telling our truths this year? Are we speaking our minds? Are we opening our hearts, or are we just letting others, kind of go through? But that's Sagittarius energy of, okay, this is what's true, and the truths come out, and it might hurt a little bit, but hey, we're gonna live. We'll be okay. We're getting through it. Okay. Um, that's just how it works, right? So somebody said Scorpio is the fuck around, and Sagittarius is the find out, and I can't get that out of my mind. I think that that's exactly what it feels like. Okay. Let's see. So Thursday, November 27th, is presence in power. Okay. Like I said, the moon is still in Aquarius, but Saturn goes back direct. So Saturn was in retrograde, all right, but then it goes direct on Thursday in Pisces, all right. So it's a good time to, we're going to start integrating the lessons that we learned for the period of time that Saturn was retrograde. And I mentioned Saturn in a previous we can go back and see how long Saturn has been in retrograde. I can't do that right now. I guess I could. Look, I mean, there's nothing stopping me from looking to see when, how long Saturn has been in retrograde. Let's see. Saturn retrograde. I probably should have known this. Saturn retrograde. July 13th. Okay. So thinking about what you've learned since mid-July until November 27th, okay? Where did you go? What did you see? And what lessons? Because Saturn, like I said, big on the lessons. So what are the lessons that you learned from this period of time? All right. And embodying those lessons, important. So the theme for Thursday is integration and disciplined empowerment. Big words just to say, hey, I'm about to, walk the walk now that, I was talking the talk. Okay. So the ritual is speaking your affirmations aloud while drumming, or practicing some mindful movements. So even like a walking meditation, or some yoga, or some tai chi, something active in that way. But also the speaking, mentioned it before, but the speaking is going to be important. Okay. Let's see the prompts for Thursday. What does it mean to act from pure presence? What does that mean to you? It's literally, there's no wrong answer, okay? But whatever that means to you, that's what we're working with. That's your alignment, babes. That's what we're here for, okay? And then what lessons from Saturn's retrograde am I ready to embody in my creative practice? Easy peasy, go for it, okay? The mantra for Thursday: I embody strength through presence, and I move forward with clarity and discipline. Okay. Friday. Okay, so Friday, let me make sure. Yes, Friday, we have some shifts. Shifts happen on Friday. Okay. The sun moves into gate 9, Earth moves into gate 16. Okay. And then we have the moon in Pisces. All right. So now I'm going to come back up here because now it's pertinent, right? Now you had time. All right, because I told you about gate 20 and 3420, that channel. I told you about that last week. So now you had some time to go get your graph, get your body graph and figure out if any of this stuff is going to help or harm, or, how are you going to work with it. Okay. Because as I mentioned before, if you use the energy, the body graph, I'm going to bring up, let me see, whose graph is this? Oh, that's not my graph. I'll bring up my graph because this one will be a good way to explain this one to you. Hold on. Let's see. We're going to remove you and I'm going to share. Let me see. Let me share screen. And stop sharing that one. I'm going to share this one. All right, there we go. Okay. So this, my loves, is my graph, okay? And I'm bringing this up because now we're going to talk about gates 9 and gates 16, all right? Gate 9 is down here. I don't know if you'll be able to see where my little mouse is moving, okay? But gate 9 is down here. It's sacral energy, okay? And gate 9, let me bring up, okay. So now gate 9 is the gate of focus, okay? And this is what I told you. Do not blame me. I am just the messenger on this, okay? Focus, again, not my forte. This is going to be a do as I say, not as I do type of moment right now, all right? I don't do focus. I mean, look at my channel, okay? Look what I got going on there, okay? Ain't nothing there, all right? Subconsciously or unconsciously, right? Unconsciously, I had some stuff. Maybe, I could have been a contender and focus, but there's nothing there. All right. I don't have consciously, there's nothing there. Okay. The gate is there. It's empty. All right. The lights are on, but ain't nobody home. Okay. For me, for gate 9. All right. So we're talking detailed attention to and focusing your energy. All right. Gate 9, the theme is concentration, devotion, small steps leading to mastery. All right. Gate 9 is repetitive action. Okay. And the shadow of gate 9 is going to be scattered energy, distraction, getting lost in details, even like going too far in on the weeds. All right. No direction. Okay. And then the gift of gate 9, if you have gate 9, I'm jealous. Okay, I'm not going to lie. But the gift of gate 9 is this ability to harness attention, refine through practice, and bring dreams into form, okay, through steady devotion. It's a very much like a practice type of a thing. Like you can do it, you do it through like diligence, okay, through working, over and over again. You're able to make whatever it is that you're working on come into fruition, okay? Frequency wise, gate 9 is going to be that sacral frequency, okay? We've talked about the D note before because we had a sacral we had a sacral gate before. Root chakra frequencies are also going to be good because anytime you're working with just like the sacral, if you bring in the that root to kind of keep you grounded as you're feeling through everything, it's going to be good for you as well. Repetitive drumming is always going to be good. If you like, I did a sound on YouTube. It's basically drumming with my shamanic drum for focus. Okay, you can go find it. It's free. It's just there. It's for meditation or like when you need to focus. I use a repetitive drumming for focus. Like when I have to write something, I can just put it on and kind of tune in or out, whichever way you want to go with that, to the repetitive drum beat. Very helpful with this gate's energy. Okay. And so you'll also notice that drumming and repetitive sounds and repetitive mantra, repetitive vocal toning, and chanting are going to be big for this gate, for the energy and in the rituals for the rest of the week. Okay. Planetary tone for this gate is going to be Saturn, of course. Oh, lost it. I'm back. It's going to be Saturn, which is going to be, that, working through um, discipline, teachable moments, lessons, the wisdom of patience. That's all very Saturn. If you like, I always just imagine, like old man, some glasses on, just kind of, wisdom, reading stuff, that's very Saturn energy. And this gate brings that type of energy. Okay. Elementally, we're going to go with Earth. It's very grounding, very stable, very slow growth, planting seeds and watching them grow type energy for this gate. And then tarot wise, I picked the 8 of Pentacles for the energy represented in this gate 9 energy. Okay, if you think about in the 8 of Pentacles, all right, it was the image of, originally, it was the image of the kid who's working on the pentacles. There's like 1 on the ground, there's 8 on the wall, or 7 on the wall, and then there are 5 on the, I don't even know, and he's working on one. It's this idea of he's doing it over and over again so that he gets it right. This is that energy. Okay, so the gate brings the ability to focus your attention for long periods of time in order to fulfill your potential. Okay. Again, I don't have this gate. More power to you if you have it. Look on your chart, check it out, see if you have this gate. Let me know, send me a comment. I will have flown off and I'm on to something else, but I'm pretty sure you'll remember. If you have this gate, you'll be focused on it, okay? And you'll remember, and then you'll go ahead and put the answer in the comments. I have this gate. Now, if you are like me and you don't have this gate, okay, this week, when the sun shines in to gate 9, will be your week. You may feel more focused this week. Okay. So whereas if you see on my chart right there, I can't even see which way you're going to look at this, looking at this. But if you see on my chart, I don't have it consciously in gate 9. Okay. Somewhere deep in the depths of me, I'm probably very, very focused. Okay. But up on top, on the surface, I am not. All right. You know that. If you know me, this ain't a secret, baby. This ain't a secret. You've heard me talk for about 47 minutes. You probably already figured that out. Okay. But anyway, I digressed. The irony isn't lost on me. Anyway, if you don't have that gate in your design, using the sun's energy that as it shines into that gate to work on focus, things that need focus, and building in that focus are going to be great. Also, finding somebody who has gate 9, also helpful for you if you don't have gate 9 energy. Okay. Now, the sun is in gate 9. Earth is going to be on the opposite end. Okay, it's that how we're working and grounding in, while working with that sun's energy. Earth is going to be in gate 16. Okay, now we'll tell you, gate 16 is up here in the throat. Okay, I'm going to try and show you here. See, I do have a throat. There it is. I was like, where's my little thing? Okay, there it is. Okay, gate 16 is here. Guess what? Your girl don't have gate 16 either. Okay. Told you. I don't look at my chart. I ain't got nothing going on. My chart's empty. Look at where's my mouse? Look. You see how that empty? My chart's empty. Okay. I don't have gate 16. Shocker. Okay. But gate 16 is the gate of skills. Okay. And this gate is about expressing your expertise, repetitive patterns, focusing on practicing. Okay. This gate is in the throat, like I just mentioned. The theme for it is expression of mastery, transforming practice into artistry. It's this idea of showing what you know because you have practiced it for so long. You're so good at it, okay? You have mastered this skill. You are now showing it and proving it to the world, okay? Um, the shadow of gate 16 is going to be doubt, lack of confidence, superficial performance without depth. If you have, these things going on, it's likely, because you got to clear gate 16. I apologize in advance, my peoples, okay? But the gifts of gate 16 are going to be enthusiasm, refinement, the ability to inspire others through skillful expression. Okay, so if you know something, you're so good at it because you've been doing it over and over again. And then people are able to see you doing this and they're like, wow, I want to know how to do that. Or, wow, let me see how I can do that. Okay, that's a gift of gate 16. Okay, the frequency for gate 16 is going to be throat frequencies because it's a throat energy. Okay, so the G note. All right, or that 384 hertz is, and also air. And you know what? When I was working through this, I was like, gate 16 sounds so much like Gemini air energy, right? Like a lot of Geminis are good at just expressing themselves, right? And so I was looking through everything, and guess what? Gate 16, it's in Gemini. Okay, so it makes sense to me. So doing, air element type sounds like wind, chimes, doing breath work, flute sounds, these are all going to be great for working, especially this week, with gate 16. Okay. Um, Gate 16 is also about expansion. So it's a planetary tone of Jupiter, which is very expansive, joyful, blessings. Um, and then the card for gate 16 that I picked is the magician card. Okay. If you know the magician, he's the one, he's got his hands up. I think like that. I don't know. He's kind of up and down. He's bringing things together. He's expanding on what he can do. He's basically like alchemizing as he goes along. He's perfected using his wand or his craft, or, whatever he's using in order to create what he's creating. And so now he's bringing it forward and it looks like magic. A lot of times magic is really just you've done something so much that it's just second nature to you, but to others it can look almost almost supernatural, but it's just normal to you because you've been doing it for so long. Very much like I would say like the ability to see patterns, pattern recognition, let's say, okay? Some of us have high pattern recognition skills. All right. And so something can come forward, and we've seen this pattern so often in our life that it's kind of just ingrained in us. And so we are able then to tell you what the next thing is that's going to happen. Like, I'm pretty sure this is what happens next in the story because we've seen it so often. Okay. So now it looks like magic or psychic or, something, supernatural. But no, it's just we've seen it so often that this is just what it is. Okay. So this gate is about identifying with a skill through practice until it becomes mastery or an art. Okay. Now I mentioned this before. I said we're going to go through this repetitive type of feeling, okay? And that gate 16 with gate 9 brings in like a repetitiveness so that you can focus, okay? So it's going to kind of bring you back. Like it's that, oh, wait, hold on. What about this? Wait, hold on, come back. No, focus. Hey, lock in. It's that. That's what my daughter says all the time. Lock in, okay? That's the energy. All right. Now we can continue. Let me go on back here and find another screen to, I'm gonna take that one off. And then we're just gonna go back in here and yes, do that again. And back to our notes. All right. On this side. Okay. So, that being said, okay, Friday is when this shift happens, okay? And we're in to Sun in Gate 9, Earth in Gate 16, and the moon is in Pisces, all right? Thus, the theme for Friday is focused dreaming, because what do Pisces do? But they sit around and just dream all day and just kind of daydream, and so it's gonna be this like pull. You're gonna constantly be like, hey, no, come back. No, come back. Hey, you're here, come back. All right. It's a shift into concentration and skill. But it's the idea of dreams guiding this practice. Okay. So I'm inviting everybody on Friday with me on a journey into our dreams. Okay. And it's kind of funny because I started working on this forecast like Wednesday, Thursday, working like, putting, when I start putting everything together. And today or yesterday, it could be either one, I don't know, I was at the Give and Take over at my favorite store where I do my sound baths. And this lucid dreaming, lucid living deck just was there calling to me. And it's basically, using our dreams to work through some of the symbols, to work through some of the energy. And I was like, what? Look at there, just in time. So I will be working through this deck, okay, and seeing how that works for me for the end of the week. Okay, I'll keep you posted. The theme for Friday is dreaming and devotion. And the ritual for Friday is a spiritual bath if you so choose. Okay. Um, do your spiritual bath with some lavender and some mugwort. Look, let me tell you, the last spiritual bath, okay, chef's kiss. I'm not going to even lie. All right. I slept like a baby. I had some awesome dreams that night. Okay. Mugwort is great for dreaming. It's great for intuition. It's great for opening up, that area. Okay. Lavender is just great for sleeping. It's great for, relaxation. All right. So get you some lavender, get you some mugwort, make you a little tea, go on ahead and do your spiritual bath or drink the tea. Okay. Open your tuition. Journal about your dreams. Okay. Um, finding maybe one focus for like the next day. All right. And then I can mention crown chakra for dream activation. That's that, connection to the divine. The B note or 963 hertz or crown tuning fork if you're using tuning forks. Now the prompt for Friday: what dream deserves my devoted practice? You see what I'm doing? We're putting it all together. It's coming together. It's coming together. Okay. And then how can I use my empathic sensitivity to discern which visions are truly mine to carry forward? And honestly, the idea comes from being an empath and not knowing what energy is yours versus what you are just feeling into, okay, which is a big problem for empaths. Okay, so when we're working through like dream work and being focused and being, skilled and repetitive action, okay, the idea is to be able to discern what visions are really yours. So you want to do this work however you can, where you are protected from the dreams and visions and sensitivities of others. Okay, and you're working with what is truly with you. All right. The mantra for Fridays: I devote my energy to the dreams that matter and I refine them with love. Okay. Saturday, devotion to craft. All right. Now, I mentioned we're basically now honing skills. This is skill work. Okay. This is very much like a, repetitive, repetitive, repetitive. I might repeat that a couple of times. Okay. But it's repetitive, repetitive, repetitive. The moon is still in Pisces, and the Mercury retrograde ends. So then you have no excuses, my love. Okay. We use Mercury retrograde for excuse for everything. I'm gonna use it, because of the quality of my Wi-Fi. All right. But Mercury retrograde ends Saturday, November 29th. So we're very much almost at the end there on that. Okay. The moon is still in Pisces. And like I mentioned, the sun and earth in gate 9 and gate 16. And so this is deepening talent through repetition and flow. Okay. That's all we're doing now. We're just, going through deepening our talent, just repeating over and over again. Okay. So the theme is clarity, skillful expression. The ritual is going to be chanting. Remember, I said that we're going to be chanting. Okay. Primordial sound, still great, especially for a day when you're chanting. Find your primordial sound, use your primordial sound to get what you want. Okay. Use what you got to get what you want. Okay. Or toning with throat chakra frequencies, which again, the G note, to refine your expression. Okay. The prompt is, how can I honor my gifts through consistent devotion? You're going to have to figure that one through, because for me, the answer already, it just, sometimes I'm like, okay, like I said, this week, I'm just the messenger. Okay. And if you're like me and you don't even have any of these gates, okay, you're like, I don't focus. Focus was not my best friend. I'm just kind of all over the place, Um, this is going to be a hard one, okay? I get it. Just let me know. Put it in the chat. If you get this far and you're like, hey, what the hell, Asia? Seriously, what's your problem? Just, you can throw that in the chat. I'll take it, okay? And then, what creative skill am I ready to refine through consistent practice? Okay. So basically it's a two-edged sword. You're working through devotion, you're working through commitments and being disciplined. Okay. That devotion being one of the, like we have ritual, we have devotion, okay. But then also, what skill are you also practicing? All right. And you're refining it. All right. What have you been ignoring? Okay. Maybe there's something that you were doing and it was helping you and you were working through it and you were learning it. And now you're like, not learning it. It fell by the wayside. What is something that maybe you need to bring back so you can get back to learning it, get back to moving through it, because it was helping you to be more aligned with your authentic self? Okay. The mantra, my voice carries clarity, my practice refines my gifts, and my spirit awakens through devotion. Your spirit does awaken through devotion, by the way. Okay, Sunday, the final day. All right. Sunday, we have that shift where the moon moves into Aries. Okay. And it's basically Aries energy comes through, and so but we have gate 9 and 16 still activated, and Aries moon, that intuition, like bold intuition. All right, that I know. Okay. So we have bold beginnings, channel concentration into new projects or practices. Okay, this is a great day if you're like, I want to get something going, I want to get something started. Aries being at the beginning of the zodiac wheel. I mean, I'm a Virgo, so I would say, I'm Virgo rising, so I would say Virgo is the beginning, but Aries is the beginning. It's spring on the Gregorian calendar. Okay, but Aries would be the first on your zodiac wheel there. So it's beginnings. Okay, so it's a great day to like begin something, start a new project, put thought into something new. Okay, the theme is initiation and bold expression. And then let's see, we have, hold on, let me, so that I can bring this one back up. All right. I like how it really does want me, to do it like that. All right. So the theme is initiation and bold expression. The ritual, I have fire. Fire's fire. Okay. But because we're working with Aries energy. Okay. So either candle gazing or burning a fire ceremony, burning your intentions, burning things that maybe have been distracting you, um, igniting focus with candle flame. That's that gazing. Okay, it's the idea of looking at the candle and just letting it flicker and focusing and putting your focus on the flame. It opens up certain parts of your brain. You may want to journal about that afterwards. Okay. Um, you want to move your energy that day. Definitely want to get going. Okay. So drumming and dancing. Um, Dancing is always great. I'm not gonna lie, but to move and get that energy flowing and going. Okay. The prompt for Sunday is, what new path deserves my focused energy now? Okay. And then also, how can I empower my empathic gifts to fuel courage rather than hesitation? Okay. Like I said, I'm giving empaths some work this week. And the mantra, I ignite my focus with courage and I express my gifts with confidence and joy. All right. Sunday's just going to be fire. I'm here for it. Okay. Can't wait because, we're going to, oh, the week ahead, it just looks daunting as far as the energy goes. And it looks daunting for me because Thanksgiving is coming up. Not one of my favorite holidays, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, there's just something, I don't know, it's a lot of work for me. First of all, to have to like leave the house and have to deal with people, and dealing with people on an inauthentic level, people who are just like trying to be a certain way, pretension. Oh, I can't stand it. And everybody with their pictures of their food, or their beautiful decorated, Martha Stewart-esque homes, and just to show their pretension. I don't like any of it. It makes me itch. It makes me itch. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay. So, going out and having to be around people and hope that, I don't get any strays from any of the stuff that, happens while I'm, out and about. It's hard. It's hard work. Okay. But I think we can get through it. Okay. That's what the frequency forecast is about. It's about helping us find ways to focus our energies so that we are working with the energy that is presented with us, or to us. Okay. Versus reacting. All right. There's no point in having to be reactive if we know that these cycles happen. We know that this energy is happening cyclically. We know what we can prepare for. Like I said, pattern recognition, superpower of mine. Okay. Um, that's what I have for you for today. I see no questions, but if during the week you're finding this on YouTube and you have questions, go ahead and drop a question in the comments. I will come back and read the comment and answer your question. You can also find me at Asia Stormborn on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, everywhere. Okay. And then also I'm putting notes in the Substack. So if you're on the Substack and you're seeing this and you're having questions, go ahead and drop a question, and I will go ahead and drop an answer. Okay, we can discuss it in the notes on Substack. It's a part of the benefits of subscribing and being a part of the community. Okay. Next Saturday we're doing sound bath. Originally we weren't, and now we are. Okay. Next Saturday is also Small Business Saturday, which is why we're doing the sound bath. Okay. So, if you get through this week and it's a little rough, come find me on Saturday. Let's talk about it. I'll be in Northwood at Herbs and Earth at 9 a.m. That's where you can always find me. Easy peasy. Okay. And you can always find me at Asia at soundhealer.life. Right there. There's the website. If you want to come find the website. Okay. I don't have anything else for you tonight. I feel like we made it through. Okay. And with that, I'm wishing you nothing but love and peace and many continued blessings. Until next time, bye bye.